Hey, what's up you guys? John from Old Running Farm here. Thanks for joining us in today's video. It is January 1st, 2022, and we thought that it would be a great idea to talk about what a crazy year it's been and sort of just go over what we initially thought we would do when we first bought this place last year in 2021. And so we're going to roll some footage of what we plan to do and sort of combine it with footage of what we did do, and then we're going to go through our plans for 2022. Let's get rolling.
What's all this?
I don't know. Some dilapidated old broken down house. So one of our short-term plans is to get a temporary alpaca structure out here and some fencing. And you know we love cheap fencing. So we're going to do both of those, and that's probably going to be our number one priority that's not the house. Because we're still going to have our previous house, and so we're still going to have stuff there. We're planning on still doing the flowers there this year. And so we're going to have to do a little bit of back and forth, but that's what we got to do. I mean, 40 acres. So since this spot behind us here is mostly clear, we're probably going to put the alpacas somewhere in this vicinity and set up some temporary fencing for them.
We're going to meet with the town ahead of time so that we are in the good graces of the town and learn from some of our mistakes at our last farm.
Yep.
Ask for permission instead of forgiveness. We're gonna try it that way this time.
Yep.
So we're gonna build some kind of, I mean, we say temporary. It'll probably be, what do you think, a year?
Something like that.
Probably have them for about a year in this like yard area, because what we need to do is save up some money to cut down some of those trees.
There's a lot.
So it's almost 40 acres here, and I would say the majority of it is wooded. Some of it is wetlands, so we won't be able to clear back there.
But that's mostly way in the back, so that's good.
Way in the back. 40 acres is so big, guys. You can just, I mean, from somebody who's lived in 2-acre lots for my whole life or smaller, it takes like 25 minutes to walk from one end of 40 acres to the other. It's a hike.
And I don't think we've even been all the way back there yet. So
right, yeah.
As you can see, there's like a foot and a half of snow on the ground.
We're not going anywhere right now.
Yeah.
We're just here.
We're just here.
So one of the other things that we've been talking about doing, and maybe you've been wondering how we're going to do this, at our old piece of property, we had told you a couple times that our town allows us to have 50 chickens. And now we're talking about getting all these Polish chickens and getting Appenzeller Spitzhaubens and Rhode Island Reds and doing chicken trades with people and hatching chickens. We have Silkies coming.
What?
None of this is news to John. So I don't know if any of you were like thinking in your heads like, they say they have 50 chickens. They say they're allowed to have 50 chickens. Chicken math clicking in. It's because we've known for a while that we were going to do this. So our eventual plan is to build some kind of chicken village where each individual breed of chickens has its own individual house and run, and they can all live in harmony with each other in this little like chicken community. So we're going to do that here. Won't that be fun?
All right, so the other thing that we're going to do, and one of the things that really started our YouTube channel, was building a window greenhouse. So we are going to do that also here, but here we're going to also work with the town and see if we can make the biggest frickin' window greenhouse you have ever seen. You know, maybe somewhere back over here. Again, we'll need to clear a little bit of trees, which makes us a little bit sad. But we feel we do a lot for the tree community. And think of all the stuff we're going to be able to grow in this beautiful greenhouse. And so we'd like to be sort of close to the house, so that we can see it and enjoy it. So, maybe somewhere back here where it's flat. Who knows? The great thing about having this much land is that the world is our oyster.
Another thing that we really want to do is build a footpath around the entire perimeter of this property. The reason why is because my in-laws, John's parents, really like to ride bikes, and riding in a 40-acre circle might be super fun for them. The other thing we want to do is we're going to start working on halter training the alpacas, and we would like to be able to take them on walks. So outside of their pasture, get them to see the sights, hear the sounds, do whatever it is that alpacas do, and we think it'll be perfect to have just a nice big perimeter pathway so that they can enjoy the entirety of the 40 acres.
So we've also talked about, I think in the past, that we've wanted to get more alpacas and have baby alpacas. So one of the other things we're going to do is get an extra big, giant, humongous, really oversized barn so that we can house as many alpacas as we can. Because like we found out recently, in some of the Facebook groups where they have like alpaca rehoming, it's kind of hit or miss that they're near us. But when they're near us, we want to be able to say like, okay, so this guy needs a home, let's bring him home. So we're going to have obviously two, one for boys, one for girls. And then hopefully down the road, this will be a perfect place to start breeding alpacas. And wouldn't it be great to have little baby alpacas everywhere?
So the last thing to tackle on our long-term plans here at this farm, and I mean last thing, we're going to be tackling a whole lot coming up and you're going to get to watch it, but this big looming monster in the background. This house is enormous. It's 3 stories, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, like 3,000 square feet. It's so much more space than we need, than my family needs, than John's family needs. So I don't know what we're going to do with this beast.
All right, so for those of you who have been following us for a while, you know that we only started with 3 alpacas and now we have a lot more than that. And something that's coming next year is going to be even more alpacas. But this time we're not going to be adopting any, we're not going to be bringing in any, we're going to be breeding our girls. So we are here in our girl pasture, as you can see. So we've picked, how many did we pick? 8? 5?
Yeah, something.
Somewhere between 5 and 8. We have a list somewhere of who we'd like to breed. And so alpaca's gestation period is 11 months. So in the spring, we will take Carl and have him be a boyfriend to several ladies. And then 2023, we'll have some babies and should be all good. Another thing that we did, we're actually standing in a new pasture that we just built a few months ago. And so in the spring also we're gonna hopefully build one more pasture so that we can stick everybody or all the girls over there and we can hopefully plant some seed and have some grass, because wood chips and mud is fine for a short period of time, but it would be nice if we could have some actual grass for our ladies to eat. And right behind us here, this certainly looks a lot different. This was actually one of the first projects that we tackled at our new property, which is our future flower farm, hopefully to be. So this was originally forested, and we spent a lot of our first days here taking down trees and hauling them out. And we're now working on getting the soil up to par. We are putting our alpaca manure down here. We have some fill, and we're getting topsoil. Directly behind Catherine, we're going to put some blueberries. And so hopefully in the spring, we will have this leveled out and ready. We were even talking about putting a greenhouse back here. It's very exciting. I can't wait to see what's coming. So this is our peacock house. This was one of the latest additions that we had to the farm. Previously, this was just trees. But so we had a big stump that had 4 trunks, and Kat had the cool idea to cut that down and put their house right on top of that. So now they have a floating peacock house right on top of that stump. And I'm actually pretty proud with how this came out. Yeah, it was our first time using aviary netting. That was a thing to do for sure. But it came out really nice, and I think it's going to work perfectly. It doesn't accumulate a lot of, well, it won't accumulate a lot of snow, so there's not going to be a heavy load on it, and it does a great job of protecting them. Very nice. And I think overall, this came out looking really cool. You can see it from the driveway when you pull in. Love it. So this is the chicken village, where we have a total of 13 coops, soon to be 15. And this is where we have our breeder pens. We have our Morans, we have our white-crested black Polish, And then next to the white-crested black Polish, we have our buff-laced Polish. They still have not laid an egg. 9 months going on 10 here. Ladies, get to work. Behind the buff-laced Polish, we have the Crevecoeurs. And the Crevecoeurs just started laying. We got their first 2 eggs yesterday and today. Woo! And then after that, we have 2 pens of I Am Samanis. After that, we have our laced Wyandottes, and I think we have a collection of blue, red. I have no idea.
Blue, black, and splash.
There's no black.
It's black laced red.
So Catherine's going to now point out which one's the black laced red.
Oh, look. Hello, black laced red. This is a black laced red Wyandotte.
And then, now that we've figured out the whole blue laced red, black Wyandotte situation, on this side, so we mentioned we have our Morans, and then we have Americanas, which I'm excited about because we're going to take one of our... Shh! We're going to take one of our Moran roosters and start our own little olive egger project, which I'm very excited about. And then we have our silked white Easter eggers, which have been a big hit. They're super cool looking, and looking forward to selling some more hatching eggs from them. And then we have another pen that's going to be, I think this is going to be our Appenzeller Spitzhauben house. And we have one of Norman's kids is a frizzled Appenzeller Spitzhauben rooster. So we're interested to have him in there and see if we can get some cool looking chickens. Then we have our blue, black, and splash silky pen. Who doesn't love a silky? And then we have a mix of buff silkies and others in our last one. So, 2021 was a really hard year for beekeeping for us. We had ups and downs all over the place. We lost a queen, but we re-queened, and then we thought we lost a queen, but we didn't, and we thought everything was good. Blah. This year stunk for us for beekeeping. It was super hard. I think we lost all of our hives. We have a hive at my mother-in-law's house, hi Joanne, who hopefully they make it through the winter. Both her and Catherine fed them and made sure they had enough storage going into winter, but it's really hard to say what's going to happen. We are super hopeful that they make it through and we have a functioning hive next year. So everybody cross your fingers for us. But for us here at this new property, I think we're going to take 2022 off for beekeeping, and maybe we'll look back into it in 2023. It was just, we just moved here and trying to get everything set up and building this whole farm and getting everything ready. It was a lot tougher than we had prepared for. Lastly here, what looks to be just a pile of rocks and brush is going to be our emu pen. So we're super excited about that. We actually just got in our first set of eggs. They came in the mail yesterday, and so we are going to set them in the incubator today. Truly New Year's emus, because it's day 1 of 2022 and we're getting to work. We're going to incubate these emus. We're going to clear out this area, have a nice long space for them to run. I think right now we have a total of 9 eggs coming. We're going to try to get some more to just make sure that we have a good hatch rate, and then we are excited about that. So coming soon, so my next 2 projects are going to be building 2 more coops over here and splitting Norman's run. And then next after that is going to be building this. So look forward to that coming soon. And everybody loves baby emus, right? Alright guys, and I guess truly lastly is what's behind me here. The trail into the deep woods of our property. Super long term, we want to be able to have alpaca walks and people taking them on a walk through the woods. And we want to have some bigger pastures back there with grass, but that's 2 to 5 years from now. We'll be, slowly sort of working on that in our spare time. But so yeah, so that's our plan for this year and the future. We thank you guys for sticking with us for so long, and through all my ums and ahs and funny math problems and ugly buildings that I build. We appreciate you, and hopefully you'll stick with us in 2022. Thanks for watching. as Natasha just leapt from the ground directly to Catherine's chest.
Ouch.